I love the word delicious when talking about books, because some you do just want to eat up as fast as you can. Hey everyone, it's Allie and welcome to my channel. Today I am super excited because I am back with another book outlet haul. I just cannot stay away from this website. I have so many books on my to-be-read shelf, but I just really was feeling a cozy little fall book outlet haul. So if you are new to the world of book outlet, beware. I'm about to enlighten you. This might change your life for the better and for the worse. So Book Outlet is an online website and you can get a bunch of new books on their site. And these books come from places like Target and I'm sure like Costco. Places like that just kind of overflow books. So all the books are new, but they might have like a little line or something like that on them. Honestly, not a big deal at all. And this site is always having sales. They've got a great little rewards program where you can build up points to get additional dollars off. And I've ordered from Book Outlet twice before. I'll go ahead and link those videos down below. And I spent between $50 and $60 getting 10 books each time. So this time I did also get 10 books. I spent $62, so I think this was my most expensive book outlet haul to date, but I got a lot of really good items, books that I'm really excited to read. So like I said earlier, I got all these books with the image of fall in my mind. I've never really been a super seasonal reader, a big mood reader, but I've really been in just like a cozy fall mood this year. I've been reading a lot of thrillers. I've been reading a lot of books set during the fall time, a lot of fantasy, things like that. And it really is helping me get in the mood for the season. So here I am. I guess I'm a mood reader now. I do have my favorite genres, which I would say would be historical fiction, literary fiction, or as I call them, just dang good novels. I like a good thriller. Not really a romance fan, so you're not gonna see those books a whole heck of a lot here on my channel unless it's a really good story. I like stories that are set out of our current reality, whether that is history or just stories that have some kind of fantastical element to it. Not a huge fan of books that are just kind of set in the here and now. Some of these ones that I picked out, I knew a little bit about. Some of them, I just thought they sounded really good. I found a lot of great books that way, just kind of diving in. But I do really love the way that Book Outlet packages their books. All 3 times that the books have been sent to me, the boxes are really in fantastic condition. So everything looks to be packaged pretty well in there. All right, so first up we have The League of Gentle Women Witches. I thought that this just looked perfect for this time of year. It sounds super cozy. It does seem like people really do like this series. So something that I've actually noticed on Book Outlet is, maybe it's just a coincidence, but I feel like they have a lot of book number 2 in a lot of series, and then I will try to find the first book and they just will not have it on their site. The books that they have on their site change all the time. They definitely don't have everything, but they do have a lot. So when I did pick this up, it did say it was book number 2. And that might just be book number 2 in the universe. This might be able to be read on its own, I'm not quite sure. But I did actually get used off of Amazon the first book in this series. So I do have that and I will read that before I read this one. So the first one I believe is called The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. And it just has that tiny little dot there. You can see does not bother me one bit. But just so you can get an idea about this story, on the back it says, Miss Charlotte Pettifer belongs to a secret league of women skilled in the subtle arts. That is to say, although it must never be said, witchcraft. The Wiccan League strives to improve the world in small ways. Using magic, they tidy, correct, and manipulate according to their notions of what is properly, entirely unlike those in the Wisteria Society. And then it looks like there's a little bit of a mystery that needs to be solved. I don't want to look too much into it because I want to be surprised when I read this story, but I think this is going to be a great October read. This one will also be so cozy for this time of year. It's Alice Hoffman's Magic Lessons. Another really, really beautiful cover. And I have seen Practical Magic, the movie, and this is book number 1 of the Practical Magic series. series, but I have never read any of the books in the series. I'm not even sure that I've ever read anything from Alice Hoffman at all, but another cozy, witchy type book, absolutely perfect for this time of year. I was looking around in the thriller section. That's something I really love about Book Outlet is you can search by genre. So of course I was looking for some good thrillers. And so I found this one. It's called The Hunting Wives by Mary Cobb, and it seems like it has pretty good reviews. I love some of these little blurbs. It says, a superior suspense cocktail. Sounds pretty good to me. Maybe I'll have a cocktail while I read it. So just the first paragraph on the back says, Sophie O'Neill left behind an envy-inspiring career and the stressful competitive life of big city Chicago to settle down with her husband and young son in a small Texas town. It seems like the perfect life with a beautiful home in an idyllic rural community. I had a hard time saying that. But Sophie soon realizes that life is now too quiet and she's bored and restless. And it seems like she kind of teams up with another wife who's a little bored and restless too. And I also love to hear from some of these little blurbs that there are lots of plot twists. I love a thriller with some good twists and turns. And this is also a pretty fun cover. So I will add too that another reason that this order was a little bit more expensive, still amazing deal, $62 for 10 books, is because I did get, I think, 4 hardbacks, and I think the other orders I only got paperbacks. So getting some hardbacks did increase the price a little bit, but even still, I got these books for like $7, and other ones I got for only a couple dollars, so it definitely all evened out. But this is a really pretty hardback called Dark and Shallow Lies by Ginny Myers Sayin, I believe is maybe how you say that last name. But very, very pretty cover there. And this one just came out last year in 2021. And Jessica Goodman, author of They Wish They Were Us, says that this is haunting and arresting. This is one stunning debut. It's a small town mystery about what happens when you finally dig up long buried secrets. So sounds very spooky. Sounds like this will be a pretty good thriller. And this is set in Louisiana, which is pretty fun because I have not read hardly any books set in that state randomly. Another good thriller here. This is The Cousins. I have read a few other books by this author, Karen McManus. I read one of her best-selling books, One of Us is Lying, as well as the sequel, and I think there's a third book to that one as well that I've not read. But this is another hardback, and yeah, this one came out in 2020, so still very, very recent. So this says, Millie Aubrey and Jonah Story are cousins, but they barely know each other, and they've never even met their grandmother. Rich and reclusive, she disinherited their parents before they were born. So when they each receive a letter inviting them to work at her island resort for the summer, they're surprised and curious. I like to have a mix of like darker adult thrillers mixed with young adult ones that are not quite as intense. A lot of times still very, very good though. So I'll definitely read that one this season when I'm feeling like I need a little bit of a more chill young adult book. Oh, this one I'm super excited about. This is another hardback. I've had this series on my to-buy list for a while. This is Richard Osman, and this one is The Man Who Died Twice, which is a Thursday Murder Club mystery. And this again is actually the second book in the series, but it was such a great price, I did decide to pick it up. And I did end up just getting the first book, again on Amazon, lightly used. So I think the first one is just called, The Thursday Murder Club. So this is the second one. But I've heard a lot of good things about these books, and I do believe the third one is coming out this year. But it sounds like what the series suggests, there is a club of people that are solving murders together. So I think this will be a little bit more of a cozy one from what I understand, but I'll definitely read the first one first and then we'll get through this one. Next up, we have Diane Chamberlain's Big Lies in a Small Town. And she has written a heck of a lot of books. I've only read one by her. It was Necessary Lies, and I really, really love that book a lot. And ever since I read that one earlier this year, she's definitely been on my list to kind of just pick up her books as I find them. And I absolutely know I'm gonna love this book because one, it's set in North Carolina, which is one of my favorite places to go, and it also is set in two different times. In 1940, which is one of my favorite time periods to read about, as well as in 2018 when this book was probably written. So I love historical fiction that is set in the here and now and then also in the past. usually involving the person in the here and now finding out stuff about the past. So yeah, I've got a feeling this will probably be 5 stars from me, just like Necessary Lies was. But Diane Chamberlain, as a historical fiction lover, I think she's going to be one of my all-time favorite authors as I continue to read more and more from her. Okay, now, like, so fitting for this time of year, just look at this cover alone. This is Nicholas Sparks' A Walk to Remember, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of turned my nose up a little bit at Nicholas Sparks. I used to read him a lot, but I just feel like a lot of his stories are super similar, and they're just not my favorite types of books. Not that they're written poorly by any means, but they're just not my personal favorite, so I read him very, very rarely. But I actually love this movie. Fun fact, this is one of my older brother's favorite movies, and you wouldn't think that looking at him. He's like a big football player kind of guy. But yeah, we do love this movie, so I'll definitely watch it this year. I haven't watched it in quite a long time, actually, but I had never read the book, so I am gonna read the book. And I didn't even remember, this is set in North Carolina too. So there's that. But this is a pretty short one, which I like because I'm really, really trying to meet my goal of reading 100 books this year. And I am very behind at the moment because I just didn't really read a ton at the beginning of this year. But yeah, I need some shorter books to get me there. And this will be a nice break as I'm reading a bunch of thrillers this season. This is a sad one, but it's really good. But I mean, like, literally look at that cover. It is so perfect. Okay, just a couple more. This is actually the first book in a series, and I tried to buy this one a couple times, the last couple times that I did order from Book Outlet, but it went out of stock a lot. So when I saw they had it, I definitely decided to snatch it up. And I thought it looked very autumnal as well. So this is called The Cruel Prince, and it is by Holly Black. I do believe that this is a young adult series, but this is the first in a trilogy, so if I end up really liking this, I'll definitely pick up the other 2 as well. But it says, Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous high court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there, but many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Caden, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, Jude must defy him and face the consequences. So this one should be pretty good. Excited to read that. And then last but not least, this one I definitely picked up based on the cover. This is called A Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood. Very, very pretty hardback book here. This little blurb on the back says, I capture the castle, meets Gatsby. It's absolutely delicious. I love the word delicious when talking about books, because some you do just want to eat up as fast as you can. But this I'm pretty sure is another fantasy. It says, summer blooms beneath an inky velvet sky. I love that imagery already. Lou Trevelyan is swept into the glittering world of the Cardew siblings. Bubbly Caitlin and her handsome, enigmatic brother Robert inhabit the world of high society, one with wild moonlit parties and unrivaled glamour. Lou is dazzled by their fashionable friends and carefree attitude. Then she begins to hear the whispers. With all sorts of secluded corners, something dark flickers just beyond the charm of this sparkling lifestyle. The Cardews have secrets, and Lou is desperate to find out what they are. As she falls deeper into their world and deeper in love, Lou must find a way to stay true to herself and her heart. Secrets and scandal make way for true love in this gorgeously dreamy coming-of-age romance. Okay, so not fantasy, maybe historical fiction a little bit more, but I mean, the cover sold me. That was everything I got in this Book Outlet order. Super, super excited to read all of these throughout October and November. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of reading this time of year, one, so I can actually hit my 100 book goal, but I have just been totally in the mood to read for the last few weeks. It's so cozy, it's getting cold out, and yeah, I just want to curl up with the blanket and read in the evenings. So let me know down below if you've read any of these books or if you have any fall recommendations for me, and what is your favorite book to read during this fall season. And if you like this video, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.